So I've known her for a year now. I was looking for a roommate online, and we had great compatibility. She was very cleanly, and I was looking for a roommate that was also cleanly as well. So we thought we were compatible, and so we got along, and then we had an argument that kind of she took it out of proportion.
What was the argument about?
The argument was pretty much, so it was 2 a.m. I was trying to get some sleep, and she basically had a guest over, and they were really loud. I couldn't get sleep at all. So she basically, I confronted her. I was very nice about it. I was like,
what time of the morning was this?
This was at 2 a.m.
Okay. So did you walk out and confront her in front of the guest?
I did, yes, because it was just bothering my sleep.
Did she often have guests?
No, this was her first guest.
Did you often have guests?
I did, yes.
Okay.
She called me a whore and a prostitute.
All in front of her guests too?
Yes.
Okay.
And I believe she was slightly drunk.
Okay.
So maybe she didn't mean those things, but it really hurt my feelings because I thought we were friends, and I just was telling her to keep it down. And I just wanted some peace and quiet at 2 a.m. and I just thought it was fair, but she was
So what
upset.
did you do?
I decided to go to sleep, just kind of sleep it off, like maybe like it was just miscommunication. But I was even more upset at myself, and I decided to vent online to my followers and just how she's
Wait, I'm sorry. Now, vent online to your followers. Let's break that down.
So I posted online.
Right. How many followers do you have?
I have about like 20,000.
So you decided that you would tell your 20,000 best friends what?
How she slut shamed me in my own home.
Do you have the post?
I do, yes.
Can I have it?
Yes.
What happened between you two? I'll be back with you in a second. Tell me what happened between you two.
From the beginning?
Well, you guys weren't getting along, and there was a reason why you weren't getting along. According to you, what's the problem?
One morning, I got out of bed and I studied for a little bit. And then when I came out of my room around 10 a.m., there was a man in just his underwear in my kitchen. I was not aware that this man was coming over.
You did not know, I take it.
I did not know.
Okay.
And so from my perspective, I didn't know this man was supposed to be here. I just saw him standing in the middle of my kitchen, half naked.
What'd you do?
I went back into my room and waited for him to leave because I figured it must have been one of her exploits.
Did you text her and say, what are you doing?
I did.
And what'd she say?
She didn't respond.
Well, did you ever sit her down and talk to her and tell her, look, you can't just bring, like, according to you, it's a parade of men. Did you ever tell her, look, you got to warn me, you got to give me a heads up, I live here too? Did you ever say?
I did.
And what did she say to that?
She said that she would.
How often would she bring somebody over?
Multiple nights a week.
Okay. And then was it always different?
It was sometimes different. Sometimes she would have the same man over a few nights, but then it would usually change out every 1 to 2 weeks.
Okay. Now, the night in question, was this rare for you to have a guest there?
The night of the 2 a.m. talk?
Yeah.
No, that was the first time I'd ever brought someone over.
In the whole time that you had been living together?
The whole time.
And by this point, you have been living together how long?
8 months.
Okay, so you brought a guest over. Finally, it's your turn. You bring a guest over, and what does she do?
She came out of her room, and she was immediately very hostile. I could kind of see that she was grumpy because she hadn't slept, and so I was really understanding and said, yeah, we'll go to my room. But she started berating my guest and me.
What did she say?
She started saying that it was ridiculous that I would have a guest over so late, that we were being incredibly loud, she couldn't sleep. And then she started saying that I was a bad roommate for not being quiet and taking it to my room.
Okay, and then what did you say?
I told her that it wasn't fair of her to tell me that I'm a bad roommate for having someone over when she's had multiple people over multiple nights a week.
Did you call her a prostitute and a...
Not in that conversation. I never.
Oh, in a different one.
A different conversation.
Okay, so go ahead, go on.
So
the guest is still there. What was the last straw for the guest to say, whoa, I'm out?
She started berating me and saying that he shouldn't be there, and so he just ended up leaving because he didn't want to be a part of it.
Right.
And so
did you ever see that guy again?
No, that was my ex-boyfriend, and we hadn't talked since then.
Apparently, she posted something about this, and you learn about it how?
One of our mutual friends texted me a photo of her post, which claimed that I was a banshee.
You post, and you have 20,000 friends, literally just had a huge fight with my roommate. She actually slut-shamed me for hooking up with a few guys. Like, this is the 21st century. She needs to get a life. Then what happens?
After that, I was going to text her about it. She didn't respond to my message, and by that point, I was very angry, so I posted in retaliation.
Okay. First, show me the text you sent her.
The text I sent her Here. I've got 2 messages.
Thank you.
The first was from...
So these are, but are both these messages are after you learn about this?
The first one is from before when I supported her having these friends
Right. It's, you know, the first one is irrelevant. It's, hey, would you mind if I had somebody over? Yes, of course, just let me know. Great. I'm enjoying my newfound freedom. You deserve it. Okay. Now, but this one is this happens, this text I'm about to look at happens after you learn about this.
Yes, it was
right?
directly
okay.
after.
You ask her, you're trash talking me online? Really? After you've been running around with all these men? And she answers, I should be the one offended. You're the one going around judging me like we're living in medieval times. Sorry you're so bitter that I'm actually getting attention, unlike you. And what is it you respond? You respond, what? Bitter about not being a hooker? I saw that man hand you money and your online business. You should probably get tested considering how eager you are to give it up, LOL. If I wanted to live with a prostitute, I would have slept out on the street with the trash where you belong. To which she responds, how dare you? Are you in your room and she's in her room when this is happening?
No, I was still in my room. At that point, she had already left for the morning for work.
So you text her all this stuff. And what's the next step? What happens after that?
After that, I posted my own on social media. At this point...
On what? Okay, on social media, your own social media?
My own social media.
Is your page private or are you another, I have 50,000 best friends?
My page is private. I only have a few friends on there. I think I have under 100 followers at the moment.
But you have followers, so it's not private if you have followers, right?
It is. They have to request. So it's only people that I know personally. It's mostly my own family and a few mutual friends.
So you told your 100 and something closest friends, what'd you do? You posted the text?
I did. I posted both.
Where you accuse her of taking money? Did you ever see her take money from?
I did.
Oh, tell me about that.
So I saw her, it was a few weeks before this whole situation. I saw her come out of her room as I was coming out of mine with a strange man.
What time in the night or day was this?
It was at 8 in the morning.
Okay.
So she had just come out of her room with some strange man, and I saw him hand her what looked like several $100s, and then I left for work.
So you take these texts and you post them on your social media.
Yes.
And then what happens?
And so I posted on my social media these texts and I kind of defended myself. Mm-hmm. And I did make a joke about her being a prostitute on my social media. I'll take accountability for that.
Wait, I want to see what you posted on your social media. Oh, jeez.
Thank you.
A joke. You're posting the text where you tell her she's a prostitute. When a prostitute with symptoms of STD doesn't know her place, I'll put her there. Seriously? Why did you say that?
At that point, it was petty of me, I will admit, but it was just kind of for me to vent to my not 20,000 friends, but just to the few friends that we shared who had already seen her post and seen what she was talking about me.
What symptoms of STD, or that's just something you said because you were angry?
She has had multiple symptoms. She's been complaining about nausea all the time, about being tired, about pain in certain areas.
Yeah, I got that. I don't have a STD. All right. So you do this, and then what do you do when you get wind of this? How do you get wind of this?
So in my defense, Your Honor.
How did you find out about this?
I found out on the internet. It was posted on the Daily, a blog.
Oh, because it got picked up by a blogger.
Yes.
And the blogger posted your comment and her returns, right? And sent that out to how many hundreds of thousands of people?
Everyone saw it. My family, coworkers. I was embarrassed by it all. Like, it's honestly false statements.
Is she actually a banshee?
No, she's not.
Okay.
It was a joke. But for her to take it that low.
It's a joke when you say things. It's not a joke when she says things.
No, because there was a mythical creature. Like, that doesn't exist. But an STD exists. And for her to take it that low.
You've never seen a banshee?
No, I've never seen it.
Yeah, STD does exist. And you're accusing her of having a sexually transmitted disease and of being a prostitute, which is criminal behavior. So what is your defense to... I mean, I don't know if you're hurt to the tune of $10,000 because you're the kind of person who lives her life on the internet. You're not a private person whose privacy was offended. It's that you didn't like what she said. And, I think the blogger gets that it's two petty roommates. roommates having a terrible fight, but it's still some real fighting words that you put up there. So what is your defense to that? Because it's one thing to say someone has a bad personality and is bitter, and it's another thing for someone to say the things that you said.
I would say that my defense is that my ex-roommate is coming here to the court and telling you about how far I escalated things. And I'm here to say that I didn't start the escalation. This all could have been handled through a simple text message saying, hey, you're being too loud at 2 a.m. I would have gone in my room. This all could have been handled with a simple text saying, hey, I don't like that we're fighting. Okay, let's talk about it. Instead, my ex-roommate decided to go to social media and post
but she
about
didn't
me.
call you a prostitute with an STD. But she didn't call you a prostitute with an STD.
She didn't. That was my escalation.
Right. But so you understand what you did is defamation. What she did was petty venting. But what you did is you're accusing someone of having a sexually transmitted disease. Is pretty serious.
I would say it is pretty serious, but I don't think it's as serious as taking a fight that could have been handled in person.
You're not picking up what I'm putting down. I hear what you're saying, that if she's bringing somebody over every day, she has a lot of nerve giving you grief the first time you bring somebody over. But that's not what we're talking about. You win the roommate award, okay? But what we're talking about is whether or not you did something that crossed the line certainly not to the tune of $10,000, but to cross the line to the tune of that you put me in the position now of having to do something about it, because she is saying, hey, foul play. She's not allowed to do that. It's illegal. And it is illegal. What you did was illegal. And that's where my problem lies. Now, the question is, I've got to decide what your damages are.
My damages
Yeah, what are your
emotional damages. I went to work
and hold on a second. You said something about her running a business. What was that?
I did. One of my friends found a link to an account where she had transactions. People could pay her money for something. It wasn't listed. She's never owned a business.
How did your friend find a link to an account that's not listed? I don't get it.
The account was listed. What she was doing business for wasn't listed. It was just some random link online where people could pay her money for doing some kind of act. That plus me seeing...
You're assuming a lot. Did you go into the site to see what it was? Now here's where we are. You have no evidence other than you seeing somebody handed her money, and then I don't know how you could possibly see... what is this that she's talking about? Would you want to answer that or not?
Yes.
Yeah, what is that?
I had a friend of mine, they helped me for gas. Gas is expensive. I need money, and he offered to help. I honestly don't understand how she came to the conclusion I was being intimate.
Ms. Lomack, the person who's you're both in the wrong, but the person who's in the wrong legally here is you. Because you can't accuse somebody of criminal behavior and sexually transmitted diseases without real evidence. You really don't have real evidence, certainly not of the sexually transmitted diseases. If you don't get along with your roommate, move out. That's what you do. If your roommate's a jerk and writes that, then you fight fire with fire, not with, a detonated blast of TNT, which is what you did. You got mad because she started it and you finished it. And you know that because that's the actual language that you use. If she doesn't know her place, I'll put her in her place when you posted it to hundreds of people. Okay? Now, are you $10,000 injured? I don't think so. Because you're the kind of person, and this is the generation, and your go-to when you have a roommate problem is to tell 20,000 people about it and insult her. So no, I don't think you're all that, insulted, but I got to do something about it now. So I am ruling in favor of the plaintiff in the amount of $1,000. That's my verdict.
Honestly, this whole situation just shows how fast things can spiral when people stop handling issues privately and start performing for an audience. I get being upset, I really do. But going online and telling thousands of people your side like they're your personal jury, that already feels like a step too far. Some things just don't belong on the internet. And then the response? That wasn't just clapping back, that was going nuclear. There's a difference between defending yourself and making serious accusations about someone's health and character without proof. That's not emotion anymore, that's damage. At the same time, I'm not ignoring the other side either. You can't constantly push boundaries, create tension in a shared space, and then act surprised when things explode. Living with someone requires a level of awareness and respect that clearly wasn't there. For me, this whole case isn't even about who started it. It's about how both sides chose to handle it and how quickly it went from a roommate issue to a full-blown public mess. Some problems need conversations, not audiences.